Welcome to Barbecue Stories. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We deeply appreciate each one of you and are curious, where are you watching from? Share with us in the comments below. The morning sunlight bathed the dining table in a warm, golden glow, where Alex and Lyla were seated, enjoying their usual weekend breakfast. To an outsider, they might have looked like the picture-perfect couple, relaxed, in sync, and deeply bonded. But Alex knew otherwise. He had started noticing subtle changes in Lyla. At first, they were small, a few extra minutes spent getting ready for work, an increase in her late nights, and a smile that no longer lit up her eyes. For months, Alex brushed aside these observations, convincing himself that it was just work stress or the natural rhythm of a long-term marriage. But now, as he sat across from her while she scrolled absent-mindedly on her phone, he felt the distance between them like an unbridgeable gap. "Hey," he said softly, trying to draw her attention. Lyla looked up, startled, as though she had forgotten he was there. "You've seemed distracted lately," Alex said, forcing a smile. "Is everything okay?" Lyla hesitated, her fingers lightly grazing the edge of her coffee cup. "Yeah, of course. Work's just been a lot lately," she replied. Alex nodded, feigning acceptance of her excuse, but the unease growing in his chest wouldn't be quieted. That evening, Alex suggested they go out for dinner at their favorite Italian restaurant, hoping that a change of scenery might reignite the fading spark. Lyla agreed, though her enthusiasm felt half-hearted. Sitting in the intimate warmth of the restaurant, Alex noticed her restless demeanor. She fidgeted with the edge of her napkin, her eyes darting around the room. Finally, she broke the silence. "Alex, I've been thinking," she began, her voice steady but tinged with uncertainty. Alex set his wine glass down, his chest tightening at her tone. "What's on your mind?" She hesitated, drawing a deep breath before continuing. "Maybe we should try something different. You know, to bring back the spark." Her words threw Alex off balance. "Different? What do you mean?" Lyla shifted uncomfortably, avoiding his gaze. "Like, giving each other some freedom. Just one night, no strings, no judgment. A chance to, explore." The air seemed to vanish from the room. Alex stared at her, struggling to process what she had just said. "You mean a free pass?" "It's not like that," Lyla countered quickly, her voice defensive. "It's not about not loving you. It's just, a little fun. A way to feel alive again." The word, alive, cut through Alex like a blade. Hadn't he given her everything, his time, his energy, his love? "Lyla," he said quietly, his voice trembling, "if that's what you really want." She seemed almost relieved, a small smile gracing her lips as she reached for his hand. "Thank you, Alex. I knew you'd understand." But as they left the restaurant, Alex's mind was already racing, the first threads of a plan beginning to form. In the days following Lyla's shocking suggestion, Alex drifted through a fog of emotions. Lyla, on the other hand, seemed lighter, almost buoyant, as though unburdening herself had freed her spirit. For Alex, though, every shared moment felt empty, a cruel echo of the life they had once built. One morning, Lyla, humming cheerfully, spread butter on her toast. "I've been thinking," she said with a bright tone, "we should redo the living room. Maybe get some new furniture. A fresh start." Alex, sipping his coffee, forced a smile. "Sure. Whatever you want." But inside, his thoughts churned. A fresh start? Was this how she justified her betrayal, a new couch to cover the cracks in their foundation? As the weeks passed, Lyla's behavior continued to shift. She spent more time in front of the mirror, perfecting her appearance. Her laughter, once a shared joy, now felt foreign, a sound that grated against Alex's ears because it wasn't meant for him. One evening, she emerged from their bedroom in a dress Alex hadn't seen in years, its fabric hugging her curves. "How do I look?" she asked, spinning playfully. Alex's throat tightened, but he managed a response. "You look stunning." Her smile brightened as she kissed his cheek. "Just meeting some friends for drinks," she said casually before leaving. As the door clicked shut, Alex sat alone in the quiet, staring at the emptiness she had left behind. Beneath his composed exterior, Alex was anything but passive. He began taking careful steps, consulting a lawyer to secure his finances and quietly moving sentimental items and important documents to his friend Rick's house. "You're sure about this?" Rick asked one evening as Alex packed a box. Alex's jaw tightened. "She treated my trust like it was disposable. I can't just let it slide." Rick nodded, though his expression was cautious. "Just remember, Alex, revenge can burn you, too. Don't lose yourself in this." Alex didn't reply, his focus fixed on his calculated plan. When Lyla announced the night she planned to use her pass, Alex masked his turmoil with an unsettling calm. "You okay with this?" she asked hesitantly, a mix of excitement and uncertainty in her voice. Alex gave a small shrug. "If it's what you need, I won't stand in your way." Her smile lit up the room as she kissed him and left. She had no idea this would be a turning point, not for her newfound freedom, but for Alex's carefully orchestrated revenge. Hours stretched into eternity as Alex sat alone in the house, sipping a drink and watching the clock. When Lyla finally returned, her makeup was smudged, her hair disheveled. "It was just dinner, nothing serious," she mumbled, avoiding his gaze as she retreated to the bedroom. The next morning, Lyla was unusually affectionate, bringing Alex coffee in bed. "We should take a trip together," she suggested brightly. "Just the two of us." Alex smiled faintly, hiding the storm brewing inside. "Sure," he replied. "We'll talk about it later." But his plan was already in motion. Over the next week, every move Alex made was deliberate, each step leading closer to the inevitable. He began meeting with mutual acquaintances, subtly planting doubts about his and Lyla's relationship. Carefully, Alex hinted at the idea of moving forward, of finding someone who truly valued trust. The rumors spread like wildfire, and Alex knew it was only a matter of time before they reached Lyla's ears. One afternoon, Alex posted a carefully chosen photo on social media. It showed him with a colleague, her warm smile both inviting and reassuring. The caption read, "Grateful for second chances. Trust means everything, *." The response was immediate. Lyla's frantic messages flooded his phone, each one more desperate than the last. When Alex finally agreed to meet her, he selected the very restaurant where she had first suggested the free pass. Lyla arrived looking fragile, her pale face betraying nights of restless sleep. Sitting across from Alex, her hands trembled as she began softly, "I've made mistakes, but we can fix this." Alex's expression was unreadable as he calmly slid an envelope across the table. "What's this?" Lyla's voice was shaky. "Open it," Alex instructed evenly. As she unfolded the papers, her hands shook, and her eyes widened at the words before her, "Separation agreement." "No, Alex," she whispered, her voice breaking. "This isn't what I want." Alex's gaze remained steady, his tone cold. "You wanted freedom, Lyla. Now, it's yours." Lyla sat alone in the bedroom they had once shared, clutching the separation agreement in her trembling hands. Through her tears, the words blurred, but their meaning was unmistakable. Alex wasn't bluffing, he was serious. This calm, deliberate response was far worse than the anger she had braced for. In the following days, she clung to denial. Her voicemail messages to Alex were incessant, one after the other. "Alex, please. We need to talk. This isn't what I wanted." Desperate, she even showed up at Rick's apartment, only to be met with firm but gentle rejection. "He doesn't want to see you right now, Lyla." The walls of their shared home seemed to close in on her. Every photograph, every piece of furniture carried haunting reminders of the life she had taken for granted. Meanwhile, the weight of her choices pressed down on her like a physical burden. Alex, however, remained resolute. His silence wasn't born from rage, it was a calculated decision. He wanted Lyla to fully experience the consequences of her actions, to feel the emptiness created by her betrayal. Staying with Rick, Alex devoted himself to rebuilding his life. He threw himself into work, rediscovered his fitness routine with a vengeance, and reached out to old friends he had drifted from during his marriage. Each step was a reminder that his life didn't have to revolve around Lyla's betrayal. "You seem lighter," Rick remarked one evening as they shared drinks on the balcony. Alex nodded, gazing out at the shimmering city lights. "For the first time in months, I feel like I'm in control. It's freeing." Rick offered a faint smile. "Just don't let her pull you back in. You've come too far." "She won't," Alex replied firmly. "I've made my decision." As weeks turned into months, Lyla's desperation only deepened. She sent Alex long, emotionally charged messages, alternating between pleas for forgiveness and angry accusations. "You're being so cruel, Alex. I made one mistake, and you're throwing everything away." Alex read every word but never replied. Lyla's polished facade began to crumble. At work, she struggled to focus, her mind consumed by regret and self-loathing. Friends noticed her erratic behavior, last-minute cancellations, unexplained tears over minor issues. One colleague cautiously asked, "Are you okay?" Lyla forced a smile that didn't touch her eyes. "Just a lot going on at home," she muttered. Her once busy social life faded as whispers about Alex's supposed new relationship spread among their mutual friends. One evening, while scrolling through her phone, Lyla came across Alex's social media post. The image of him with another woman, his confident smile radiating happiness, pierced her heart like a dagger. The caption read, "Grateful for second chances. Trust and loyalty mean everything, asterisk." Her heart raced as questions swirled in her mind. Was this real? Had he already moved on? Overwhelmed, she dialed his number. To her shock, Alex answered. "Alex," she stammered, her voice trembling, "is it true? Are you seeing someone else?" There was a long pause. When Alex finally spoke, his voice was calm, almost indifferent. "Why does it matter, Lyla? You're the one who wanted freedom." "That's not fair," she cried. "I didn't mean it like that. I thought we could work through this. I didn't think you'd replace me." Alex's response was unwavering. "I didn't replace you, Lyla. You replaced us the moment you decided what we had wasn't enough for you." The call ended, leaving Lyla in a flood of tears. When Alex finally agreed to meet her, Lyla arrived at the Italian restaurant looking like a shadow of her former self. Her makeup failed to mask the sleepless nights etched into her face. In stark contrast, Alex was composed, his tailored suit and calm demeanor radiating confidence. "Thank you for meeting me," Lyla began softly, her voice shaking. Alex nodded but said nothing. "I know I hurt you," she continued, tears welling in her eyes. "I thought I needed something more, but I was wrong. I don't need freedom, Alex. I need you." Leaning back in his chair, Alex's expression remained unreadable. "Do you know what I needed, Lyla?" he asked. "I needed loyalty. I needed someone who respected what we built. But you decided that wasn't enough." Sobbing, Lyla pleaded, "Please, Alex. Just give me one more chance. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this." Alex reached into his pocket, sliding an envelope across the table. "What's this?" Lyla asked, her hands trembling as she opened it. "Consider it my answer," Alex said. Her eyes widened in horror as she read the document, divorce papers. "You wanted freedom, Lyla," Alex said steadily. "Now you have it." Lyla broke down in tears, her sobs echoing through the restaurant. Adjusting his jacket, Alex stood, his voice calm but final. "This is your free pass," he said quietly. "A free pass to move on, without me." With that, he walked away, leaving her alone to face the weight of her choices. For Alex, the weeks that followed were transformative. He finalized the sale of their home, signed the divorce papers, and closed the chapter on his life with Lyla. Rebuilding himself became his focus. He poured his energy into work, explored new hobbies, and traveled to places he had always dreamed of. Slowly but surely, the weight of betrayal lifted, replaced by a newfound sense of freedom and self-worth. Lyla, meanwhile, was left to confront the emptiness of her decisions. The life she had once taken for granted was gone, along with the man who had loved her unconditionally.